Good morning.
Good morning.
We are in our program, Healing Chat. We have two friends and two guests. We're going to chat about mind independence and pain management. Then, if we're going to make a questions, and I'm going to introduce the topics, and then if you have your ideas about it, please interrupt to me, right? Then both topics they are connected. They are connected with actually the physical body and how we can heal in ourselves. But one good example of these topics is psychosomatic illness. Then psychosomatic illness, they are considered pain is actually create from our psychology. We have actually asthma is one of the best ones. Is basically emotional illness. Then we have eczema in the skin. We have a long list of illness. They are actually psychosomatic. Then the psyche of the mind, um, we refer are basically where we put our sense of identity. But I want to make the separation with emotions. In the regular psychology they put both together. But for healing, it's better to separate function for be more clear, more precise, and understand better how things work in us. Then we can divide more for have a deep understanding to the intellect, the physical body, the movie center, the instinctive part, the sexual part, and the emotional part. Then the mind is a function coming from the brain. The main organ to create your psyche is your brain. The brain and the mind have specific functions, and one of them is to be here and now and have the sense of me and know what I telling to you. Then I use my software. My information is already recording in my computer for pass the information to you, but my emotions, me, is mixed with my speech. Then the psychosomatic illness, basically, they are bad ideas. Then we have bad programs become illness. And one of the main problems when we get psychosomatic illness, and also that is in connection with pain, then we have two kind of pain, which is the imaginary pain and the real pain. And mostly the people live in the imaginary pain, which is long and take too much time, but is also a psychosomatic. And then you have the real pain. Then if you mash your finger in the door, you're going to feel a real pain, but for a while, and this is real. But then coming the pain from your imagination, from your fears, from your worries, from your envy, from your anger. Then this illness, which is become in the world of your ideas, is visible in your skin. Then in the case of the skin is a big membrane in the body, actually it's the biggest organ. So what is your relationship with the external and the internal? Like a membrane, the same one cell. Then one cell exchange information with the blood, release toxins in the vein system, and get nutrient and oxygen from the arterial. But we do the same like a unit, like individuals. Like right now, I breathe in, exhale, and inhale and exchange. This is called osmosis and symbiosis, and we exchange our energies too. But that is what make make me. Then, in the case of the skin, how I interact, how I flow, how I relax, uh, that is in the main three centers. Actually, for the skin, the fourth center, which is the sexual, have a big role because the skin is a sexual organ as well. Then we can show with uh, eczemas, or we can show with itching, or we can show with a coloration. The diet we do, what we eat, and this is what is my exchange with the world. When I eat food, I eat the world, but which part of the world I choose to eat. The same when I breathe, then how I breathe with fear or I breathe with confidence. And the immunity system reacts to both because there are two different sets of hormones. When you breathe or you are in fears, you are with adrenals and cortisol, basically. And when you are confident, and I don't mean happy, but content, you produce dopamine, you produce hormones. They are more in connection with the positive side. They are, when you produce one set of hormones, you don't produce the other one. Then if you produce enough dopamine, which is you can do it with yoga, with exercise, you don't produce adrenals. Then when you produce too much adrenals and cortisol, things become very tense and the toxins don't go out. The toxins get in. This exchange only is happening with relaxation and confidence. It's not happening from stress and tension. And is one of the ways we can alter our health or skin or get basically stagnations. But the stagnation is coming from the relationship I have with myself. And here is the key or the tool for mind independence and pain management. Because when things don't work well, I feel pain. Physical pain, emotional pain, sexual pain. Then the key is who am I? What I want, what I need, is questioning yourself. Then if I am sick because I'm doing something wrong. It's not a contagious thing, it's not something I got from my parents, it's not something from the weather, it's not the government. And then if you think it's a virus, you think you need to take vaccination. What you do basically is don't trust in your own immunity system. Then if you don't trust in your own immunity system, what you going to do? Then the mind independence is when you basically knows the place of self and the place of the body, and you can separate yourself, and you can put things working in the right function. And here is something happening to us all the time, is the confusion between thought and emotions and body. And we don't know which is which. And when I feel emotional, I eat the ice cream, which is probably like what I need to do is write a poem. Like art is more the right connection with emotions, no food. You eat when you have appetite, not when you are emotional. Then when you fix your emotional life with one chocolate, is a wrong connection between your functions. Then maybe you need a kiss or some affection. But a chocolate don't going to replace that for a moment only. Like a joint or alcohol is the same. Then the mind create movies, and our life can be different movies, and we can actually be a copy, and I can believe this is me. But the base of mind independent is self-knowledge, is in this moment knows my brain is working and pass the information, but I don't lose the sense of identity, who am I and who am I? I am not who's talking. I am who observe who's talking. Then when I am observe who is talking, and I observe all around and inside to me at the same time, I'm free. Then I put myself in a free place where I'm a witness, not actually an actor. My brain is acting, and I'm watching my brain do the right thing. Then if my brain starts to say or think stupid things, I stop him. I am responsible about what I'm thinking. Then my pain is consequence of wrong ideas. And I need to detect it, which is these ones. Like to have a negative attitude about life is a bad idea. Maybe through everything's going wrong, there's a lot of corruptions, and we kill too much animals. Yes, it's true. But I cannot live with the drama. I cannot live with the negativity. I cannot to get identified with the negativity. This is not what I want be. I don't want to be in this world. I want to be in one beautiful world, positive, with love. But this is need to start inside to me. Then I need to start to practice this love with my way of thinking, with my way of feeling, and with how I treat my body. Consequence is love. But if I fight with myself, if I resist, if only I see the wrong things all day long and enjoy my bad luck and recreate my frustrations, and then I don't believe in the future, or I think everything going to be worse. Plus, I miss this moment, which is this already high price to pay. I make myself sick. Any questions?
It's a good explanation.
Good explanation.
Good explanation, yeah. How do you bring the how can you explain the mind independence? Is that what you said? Yeah,
Mhm.
mind independence. Into are you talking about like the witness mind independence being like the witness, the one who's observing, or it's many I mean, like the way I understood it last time, is that it's a concept you can look at it in a big way or in a small way, like tiny bits of mind independence or like a big mind independence. Am I right?
Yes.
It's just a principle of being able to be independent from something else. Yeah, like I was looking at in terms of how the wind has its own independence from other winds, and as long as like we talked about.
The practical use is when we don't have unity, then the absence of unity is also the absence of will. Then will is very necessary because you want to do things, but in order to do things you need to be, and people confuse be and do. It's not the same. But where I put the sense of identity is the main problem, because we don't have unity and we don't have will because we are too many. Then we have too many I and too many personalities. And we don't identify which is one, which is the emotional, the intellectual, the instinctive, the sexual, and you have many personalities for each part of your function. But you are not aware about all these personalities. You think you see your face in the mirror and you see this is me. But me, there are too many.
Yeah, one of the things that I find too is that people, all of us at some stage in our process, we get attached to one particular identity, yeah? But that particular identity that we get attached to isn't really that witness. It's one of many. It's like there's like we have this like fragmented lines of existence, and we choose one, we identify with it, and then we create and do everything from that perspective and that seat. But the whole time we're like denying ourselves or separating ourselves from, like, kind of, you could say, the observer. And so then what we're doing is we're actually identifying ourselves with the actor, yeah, of which we have many parts in the play, right? There's many actors and actresses in our play. We choose one, we identify with it, and then the short-sightedness of that particular role, being in the play and not being like the writer of the play, as the observer, produces results that aren't healthy and imbalanced.
Well, this constant identification create the constant loss of sense identity
and willpower, right? Because
I
we only
forget-
have a little tiny bit that we're
we don't remember ourselves. Then we remember to pay the bills, we remember to clean the car, but we don't remember to be attached to my sense of identity now, beside what I do.